Hi guys, welcome to today's episode. And so today we are going to be talking about overthinking. Do you know that you can actually be an overthinker yet you really do not know about it? And it's until when it's too late that you realize that sometimes when the effects are clearly, you're clearly seeing the effects of overthinking on you is when you sit down and realize that, wait, you are indeed an overthinker, right? Overthinking is a very common issue in relationships and in our daily lives, and it's quite unfortunate that it could lead to stress and a lot of insecurities in your life. All right, so and today I thought it wise for us to be able to sit down and talk about overthinking as a topic and ways in which we can make ourselves better. Right, so stick with me up to the end of the video because by the end you will be able to learn ways in which or you could stop being an overthinker and make your relationships better, nourished relationships, and just improve ways in which you're interacting with your friends, with your spouses, with your sisters, with your brothers, etc. Right? So my name is Elizabeth Mulwa or Elizabeth Ndanu, or most of you who know me personally call me Lisa, a name that I also enjoy being called. And so sit back and relax and enjoy this particular episode. Have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? If no, kindly do so. This is going to go a long way in ensuring that the content is verified. So I will really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. And to my guys who have subscribed, I want to say big thank you to you guys. I really appreciate. I do not take it for granted at any given moment. So kindly feel appreciated and kindly know that the love is mutual. I love you right back. And I am here to bring you content that is going to impact and to change the people that we become. Now, on overthinking, I would like you to note that we are moving this journey together because up until recently, I realized that I was indeed an overthinker. I am an overthinker, right? So, and there is a difference between someone who sits down and overthinks about something, and you could do a lot of, reflection. There's a difference between someone who does healthy reflection and overanalyzes some things, especially at work, right? Because that leads to positive insight, and you just become a better person, and your decision making is made, I would say, like proper, and as opposed to someone who just does things without thinking them through. All right. So, but the overthinking that we're going to be talking about right here is totally different from the good overthinking. All right, or over analyzing of situations and before you make like a business decision, or if you are starting a business, how you would sit down and do your math, right? Now we are talking about the other overthinking of, in most cases, having to sit and overthink and dwell on an issue that happened in most cases perhaps maybe in the future, or that happened in the past, right? So like for example, if you said something at a meeting and you start feeling and assuming that was not the right thing for you to have said at that particular point in time, and so you start thinking of how perhaps your peers saw you as you feel like someone thinks that you are not well equipped to have stood or to have sat in that particular meeting. All right. So in most cases, overthinking involves a lot of worrying and just worrying too much about the future, or dwelling too much on past events. And so always you realize that you overanalyze situations. What this does is that in most cases it affects your decision making. So you find that sometimes something that could have taken you like 5 minutes to decide on, to come with to a conclusion, like it can take you forever. So that is what I mean. All right. So apart from just affecting your decision making, in most cases it goes a long way in having other several effects. So sit up at the end of this video so to be able to check ways in which you can avoid being an overthinker. All right, let's look at first the effects that overthinking has and how it could impact you as a person. Right, so overthinking could increase stress levels and anxiety. So you become someone who, because of course, as we've mentioned, you are overanalyzing and dwelling on something that has already like something that has happened before, And look, you totally have no control over the past, right? So, but you have full control over the future. But if you're dwelling a lot on something that has already happened, what does that do? It like it distracts you from what is currently happening, and I think the most important things that you should be focusing on at this particular point in time. And so it's important for you to ensure that as part of the things that we're going to be discussing in the course of this video, you obey or you adhere to some of them so that you can avoid anxiety and stress. All right. So another effect that overthinking has to you is communication issues, because you fail to become a good communicator. Remember, this is taking a lot of your energy. You are taking too much time overthinking about something that has already passed or something that is about to happen. All right. And so you find that your communication, or especially in relationships, so you find that if you're a person who has anger issues or something like that, your communication might be quite off. All right. And so because you are over analyzing your partner, all right, so you are dwelling in the picture that you've already built in your mind. So assuming that it is now in a relationship whereby you're looking at the other person, and you have built a picture of or you build some image of them in your brain out of your overthinking. So let's assume your partner comes in late today, so you overthink and you analyze the reasons as to why this person could have been late. All right. And so in most cases it might land you to wrong conclusions, and what that does is that you could end up bursting to your partner and having your communication not well done, and as opposed to sitting down and asking and seeking to understand, what you do is that you pour out your assumptions, and it ends up just messing your experience with your partner. All right. So another effect that overthinking has on you is insecurity. So it builds insecurities, and you become a very jealous person. So as we've mentioned, you've already built and assumed things in your brain. So you have not fully you've not sought to understand reasons or to get explanations from the other person. So you've just made your own assumptions. So what that does is that if you are someone who is very jealous, and I believe that if you love someone, in most cases you're going to be a jealous person. So you end up being giving or showcasing your jealousy in a manner that may not be impressive, especially to the other person. All right. And so if especially the other person was very innocent and they did not, the image that you're building in your brain is off. All right. So it's important for, again, as you mentioned, communicate so that you are on the same page with the other person. All right. Now, again, what that does is that it escalates issues that never needed to have escalated. All right. So it escalates or like builds situations that should not have happened in the first place. All right. So it's just, again, brings a lot of conflictions and a lot of conflicts between you two. So things that should not have escalated to a certain level, you end up seeing them actually escalate, and it's basically just purely because of the things that you've already built in your brain. So, and look, for ladies, this is something that we are really struggling with. All right. So I know, I am quite confident that there is a huge number of ladies who are struggling with this, because you're looking at your partner and you're already building situations and scenarios and things that they have done, you think they have done, yet they have not actually done, and so it's important to avoid that. Another effect, very last and very important effect that overthinking has on you is it drains you emotionally. All right. So you become a drained person. Like have you ever felt exhausted because of things that you've just been thinking about? Or like you are traveling somewhere and by the time you arrive, you feel like you are so tired, because when you're traveling, the things that you are thinking at that particular point in time are things that you're building in your mind. I mean, you're just overanalyzing things, all right? And so you feel emotionally drained, and you just sometimes even lose the morale, the push to do whatever that matters at that particular point in time. So it's very important to avoid overthinking. Now, we have seen the effects that overthinking has on us, all right? And I believe that this is just a small percentage. These are the things that I've been able to put together. There are so many other effects that overthinking has on you, and in most cases, quite unfortunately, are negative, all right? So now let's look at how, in ways in which we can be able to to stop overthinking. All right, let's look at some of these ways. And one of the most important ways in which you can stop overthinking is by staying active, like staying active and ensuring that you are not distracted by anything at any given time. So you are or rather at that particular point in time. So what you're doing is you switch off your phone, switch off your laptop or your computer if you're working at home, or switch off everything, your television, your phone, your laptop, everything, and focus on an activity that you are learning to do at that particular point in time. Like you could teach yourself how to cook something new, or how to paint, or how to, you could start reading books, but stay active, do something at that particular point in time. You can actually go to exercise, but stay active. That way you are able to focus on what you're currently doing, and you'd stop and you'd not find yourself over analyzing things or situations and things that you're not even in control of, right? So just stay active, practice being very active. And another thing is staying present, okay? So staying present and ensuring that you're living every moment at a time. So, and sometimes one would think, how can I stay at the present? How can I stay present? And because the art of meditation and yoga, it's something that perhaps most of us do not know, but staying present requires very simple things, like if you are taking a meal, just sit down and enjoy that particular meal. Wow, guys, you're going to forgive me because of the sounds, but yeah, enjoy that particular meal at that particular point in time. Like sit and listen and focus on the smell of that food, focus on the taste, how the food is melting on your tongue, but just focus on how that food is at that particular time. All right, so you see, at that point you're staying at the present. You are at the present. I mean, you're not thinking of any other thing but that food. Okay, so or another thing that you could actually ensure that you are, or if you're walking somewhere, just look around, observe the buildings, know the place that you are, listen to the sounds, understand or like observe any smells that could be at that particular point in time. So, but just stay at the present in the thing that you're doing at that particular point in time. Stay at the present. Focus on what you're doing at that time. Switch off your television, learn something new, look at a new recipe, focus on that at that particular point in time, and eventually practicing that every now and then, but every day, you would find out that it's slowly moving you away from dwelling on things that do not matter. All right. Now, another very important step to be able to practice is to practice gratitude. All right. That's the third point. Practice gratitude. And so this involves looking at the positive things, or like the things that we've been able to achieve. Look at the things that we've been able to achieve over time. All right. So that way you'll be able to appreciate what you are able to do. Because in most cases, some people overthink of the things that, as we mentioned, things that you're not even in control of, and there are things that has already happened, and there are things that perhaps made you feel like you are inferior, or like you did not do best, or like you feel like you could have done. There are people who even that particular scenario and that particular thought makes you feel like you are a total mess and that you cannot be a better person. All right. So what you need to do is simple. Practice gratitude. Now look at the things. Jot down some of the things that you've been able to do. All right. It helps you shift your focus from all the problems or things that do not matter at that particular point in time. If at all it's a problem that you're overthinking, it helps you push your focus from the problem to now what you've been able to achieve, to your success. It gives you the fulfillment as a person. You enjoy the journey. You enjoy you appreciate the journey and where you've been able to come from. All right. So it's just a matter of being able to appreciate that, and it helps you move away from overthinking and thinking that you did not become a better person, or you did not perform as a person. Challenging your negative thoughts. I mean, just challenge. If you're having those negative thoughts, you're overthinking and they are just spiraling out of control in your brain, how about you just challenge them? All right, so just sit down and again, see what is this thing that I feel that I am not good at, or like what is this thing I am overthinking about. All right, and after you do that, ask yourself, are these things based on facts, or are these things based on assumptions? So assuming that you have been overthinking that your spouse is cheating on you, all right, so because perhaps they came in late, and as you said, you did not take the time to sit down with the person and seek to understand and know before you make your judgment. All right, so you already build scenarios and situations in your brain. Now understand, is what you are overthinking about factual, or is it based on assumptions? That way you will be able to let go quite easily. If you realize that it's just an assumption, then you'll be able to seek and to understand that the other positive side could also be a possibility, right? So, and that way you'll be able to move away from that particular negative thoughts that you had to now focusing on the possibility of the positive side of the situation. Understood? Now, or another way to challenge your negative thoughts is by thinking how whatever thing that you're overthinking at that time, how is it going to affect you 5 years, 10 years, or even 3 years, or even next week? How is it going to affect you? How is it going, what is the contribution it has towards the person that you intend to become in the next 5 years, all right? Or in the next 1 week, or in the next 1 month, depending on your goals and the places that you set yourself to be at any given time, all right? So that way you'll be able to understand and to seek to know how you'll be able to handle and maneuver through such kind of scenarios. It's also very important to seek professional help, all right? Seek to get assistance from someone, because in most cases, as I mentioned, there are people who are trained to make our lives better. There are people who have the expertise and they can guide you through a situation, and you come out of it a better person, right? So it's important for you to just seek assistance from someone who is well equipped with the knowledge, with the experience, and they can guide you to become a better person. Important, just talk to someone, seek us, and you'll be able to move to find that huge situation that you've already built as a very small thing, and so you let go. All right. Yeah, I mean, seek professional assistance, and you will be able to move forward. Now, another very important thing to do is to focus on solutions. Now, assuming you've built situations, or assuming that you have gone through perhaps a small failure or a small setback, and that is making you question your ability and the way that you can be able to handle things and your decision making and all that. It's important for you to focus on solutions in ways in which that you can make yourself a better person, or in ways in which you can be able to tackle that particular situation and that particular problem that you are facing at that particular point. So you may find yourself just overthinking and taking a lot of time and overanalyzing, just because you're not taking any action. All right, so just be that kind of person who says, now this is the situation, how do we get out of this particular situation? All right, and be able to get the strength and just write down steps one by one, in ways in which you can be able to move and seek assistance. So that way you'd see and you realize that you indeed can. All right, because the next step is that you should trust in yourself. The next step is trust in yourself. So after you be able to put all those points together, and you're working towards now the solutions, right? So you're not dwelling on the problem, but now you're dwelling on the solution. The next point is that you will trust yourself, all right? And you will sit down and realize that, wait, I can actually do this, and believe in the ability, in your ability to make better decisions. Believe in your ability to conquer whatever it is that is coming your way. So just believe in that particular aspect. I mean, and you're going to realize that the things that, as you mentioned, the things that you're able to do are way more than the things that one thing that you've not been able to do. You understand? So it's important for you to trust in yourself and have compassion on yourself. All right. The next point: have compassion on yourself. Now, having compassion on, it's very natural. It's very natural to have doubts, all right? So it's very natural to doubt the things that you can do because of those particular setbacks in life. These things happen. But how is beating yourself going to help the situation? It is going to just make it worse. All right. So it's important for you to have compassion on yourself. Just look at it from a point of it's natural, it's humanly, and every person is going through this particular situation. It happens to the best of best, and I'm not exempted from all this, and I just have compassion and understand that you are just human, all right? That's where you're going to sit down and look at that particular situation and understand how it is making you feel, all right? And after understanding how it is making you feel, affirm yourself that you are able to do it. And there's some of the statements that you can tell yourself, like, I believe that I am enough, all right? I believe that I can do it. I got this, just keep on telling yourself these things. And eventually you're going to believe the fact that you indeed can do it, and that one particular setback did not define who you are, and because there are a lot that you've been able to do. So, but just have compassion. Just understand that all these things happen, and it happens to the best of best, and I am not accepted, and I believe in myself. I can do everything that I want to do and that every other person has done, and that way you will be moving to the right direction towards moving away from overthinking and understanding that, of course, you can do it and you are better. Now, I have exhausted most of the pointers that I put together for us to be able to move away from overthinking. And guys, as I mentioned, I am actually moving through this journey with us. I am an overthinker, so I analyze things quite a lot. In some situations, I build things in my mind, and so as we realize that it's wrong. I mean, it's wrong. Let's seek to stop overthinking. It will improve our relationships. It will make us better persons. It will just our decision making is going to be way made easier. All right. And if you are something that is very important to note. For every person to be able to sustain a relationship, now this is the couple of the people who are currently dating. For you to be able to sustain a relationship, it's very important to have a very open communication and to manage all kinds of insecurities, and have a very healthy balance between a very healthy skepticism. Like, you can be skeptical, all right? You can be skeptical, but have a very healthy skepticism and trust. And that way you will find out that you actually do not have the need to overthink and to build situations in your mind. Madine, we have this problem of thinking that your guys are cheating, or like your spouses are cheating. So, and in most cases now, that sometimes it spirals out of control, and it is, at the end of the day, you wonder, was it worth it? Because you have lost quite a lot because of something that is very little. All right. So let's just ensure that we are working towards ensuring that we are not overthinking, and that we are on the right track. Now, let me tell you a fun fact. I think I mentioned it. A fun fact about overthinking is that there's some people who believe that overthinking is a sign of intelligence. Okay, overthinking is a sign of intelligence, and people with high IQs are people who overanalyze situations and overthink about things quite more. And if you compare them with the others, you find that these ones are overanalyzing and overthinking things. However, let's notice the difference between ruminations and reflections. I think I mentioned it. So ruminations and overthinking, and reflections. So ruminations is whereby you focus and you dwell a lot on things that have already happened, things that you do not have control over, things that perhaps you feel that you could have done better, and the opportunity for you to do that has passed, and you feel like you might not get that opportunity again. And there is now the constructive reflection, whereby you sit down and analyze the situation before you make a very important decision of your life, like investing, and like if you're working, some of the decisions that are very important in life. So that is self-reflection. And this involves purposeful and constructive thinking about something, and this leads to personal growth. All right, and you get very great insights from that. So it's important to just differentiate the two. Know when you are overthinking is now rumination, and know when your overthinking is constructive reflection. And in most cases, on this episode, we were talking about overthinking in relationships. So I believe that the pointers that we'll be able to analyze are going to help us become better persons and improve our relationships. All right. So thank you so much for your time, for sticking up to this particular moment in time. I do not take it for granted. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would politely request you to do so. And if you have subscribed, thank you so much. So as of now, we have a total of 216 subscribers, and so I do not take it for granted. If you have subscribed, asante sana. If you have not subscribed, kindly do so. All right. Thank you so much for your time and for sticking around. I may believe that in the next versions or on my comment section, we're going to be seeing people who are becoming better persons and improving their ways in which they are overanalyzing situations. So thank you so much and bye.